Okay, this is the question. Ciao Marco, whatever, how to make this effect that is ripplet glass in 3ds Max. The thing is very simple and we need this. Look, I will make a very basic simple scene and I will put a piece of glass. It is extremely important that the glass has a realistic dimension. So the box, there is this thing that will be in glass will be like, I don't know, 50 by 70, and it will be very thin, like 0.5 or 0.5. It's like a realistic glass thickness. And then I will also put a light just to be able to see the effect of a transparent material. And I will open Material Editor. I will create a new physical material. I double click it, and in here I will leave everything as it is. Beside transparency, I will put transparency to 1. And I will apply this material to this thin box. Now we need to go to Photoshop. We have to make a texture that will give us the possibility to have those ripplet effect. And I will simply make a texture that will have the background. So I will make Control A to select, Shift F5 to fill everything with black, and those bumps instead on the glass will be made by using brush and by using the color that is white. And I will simply make these stripes. To make stripes in Photoshop, you have to click first point, press Shift and then click, and you make stripes. Lines to be precise, instead of just using freehand drawing. So this is going to be a map, and I will save this as a JPEG, for example, and I will call it bump, just to remember why we are doing this map. So I save it as a bump, or whatever, and now see this. I just go to the folder where I saved this file here. I drag and drop this folder into 3ds Max Material Editor, and I connect this map with bump. Before viewing the result, there are 2 more things that I have to do. There are double click on the map, and I need to make sides of this map bigger, and I actually want that the map is as big as my glass piece. And if I remember, it was width 50 centimeters, height 70 centimeters. Mostly done. I double click on my material, and where I see the parameter that is called bump, and I can see that now it has also the bump.jpg applied, what I have to do is simply changing this value, that is 0.3, I have to increase it at least, it has to be 1.5. It can be even more according to the effect that we want to obtain. Let's make a first test rendering to see if it works. It should. It is slightly overexposed, so I will simply change in my render setup the exposure, sorry, not the render setup, in environment, the exposure control. Yeah, should be fine. Let's render again. And we have the effect of rippled glass. If we need, we can simply stretch maybe the texture. So I double click the bitmap, and instead of making it 50, I can squeeze it. I can make it 25 by 70, so that it would be repeated twice along the width. In this way, I will have thinner lines. I render again. And I will obtain that simple effect of rippled glass. If also, look, if just change point of view to check that it works. So it has this kind of profile. If I want, in Photoshop, I can do even something crazier. That is, I can select all, just delete, use my white brush, and I can start, for example, giving a certain pattern with white. So I can start making this kind of doodles, like these, and I will basically create this texture. This texture is also, this file is already applied as a texture in 3ds Max. So I will simply save it in Photoshop. I don't need to do anything else into 3ds Max. But if I render now, instead of having those stripes, I will have this kind of bumpy effect with those white elements in my texture translated into these hills on the surface. Believe it or not, this is the only complex thing about doing rippled glass. And also, same exact process works no matter which render engine you are using. So same exact technique can be used for V-Ray, for other renders, and so on and so on. Okay? Hope it's clear. Bye.